gonna wait a couple of minutes. This is only my second time hosting in Zoom. So last week I accidentally did not let people in. So I'm gonna make sure I don't have too many people in the waiting room. And then what we did last week, I kind of like went around to see like basically like what grade, what grades are your children, just so I have a general idea of the audience. And then I didn't really have any questions last week, so I just kind of went over some of the other resources. But it's kind of based on like, if you have any questions, we'll be able to start with that. And then if not, I have prepared some resources that I can also highlight. But it kind of depends if I have like mostly kindergarten students or like if I have middle school students. So we'll see. So, but I'm still going to wait a few more minutes so we have more people. And I apologize if you tried to connect last week and I didn't let you in. It's because I'm not an expert yet at Zoom. So. Okay, so I guess as people are trickling in, maybe we can do you can either like based on how comfortable you are, you can put your video on or not, and then you can tell me either in the chat or just unmute yourself to let me know like who's your kid or who are your kids and in which grade they are, so I know I can take some notes and know who is present today. So who would like to start? Scott, you want to let us know? Okay.
Yeah, Abraham Mackey will be entering kindergarten.
Okay, so Scott, is it a new student?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a new student.
Okay. So, okay, the two parts have like 2 new students in K. Okay, it's easy to remember.
Hi, my 2 sons are going into 8th grade and going into 2nd grade. Devin and Cameron. Devin's going into 8th, Cameron's going into 2nd.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Admit. I'm better at the waiting room, so I'm figuring this out. I see Jessica.
Hi there, I have Chloe. She's going into 2nd grade.
Okay. And then I see I have, so for the people who just joined, we're just like circling around to see like what grade is your kid, or if you have several children, what grades they are, just so I know how I can, address some of the questions. I see we have Ken, would you mind letting me know either in the chat or by unmuting yourself what grade you're interested in?
Hi. So we will be brand new to Lycée. I have a son who will be in 6th grade. We're moving to New Orleans from Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And he's been at BR Flame in EBR since kindergarten. And then I also have a rising 2nd grader, but he unfortunately did not receive a seat in 2nd grade.
Okay.
So I was wondering if there's a wait list.
So you would have to contact Nicole Crystal, who's the director of admission. She would be able to let you know.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. And then I see Lauren, or maybe I have some messages in the chat. Okay, 2 girls entering in 1st grade. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep an eye on the rating room. And then, so I see I mostly have lower elementary students, but and I have some new parents, so I guess that's going to be a little bit different, you know, obviously. But I was wondering, okay, so I already see some questions in the chat, which is a great way for me to see the question. By the way, I forgot to state it, but this meeting is recorded. So if you know of like people that couldn't attend, you know, will be we can make this recording available. So the first question is from Scott. Should we continue pre-K4 at-home phonics learning in addition to these French at-home resources, or should we focus fully on French 1? Good question, Scott. I would say keep focusing on both. You know, the stronger the students are in their first language, the easier they're going to be able to transfer all this knowledge into the French. So I would say if you're already working on pre-K4 phonics, continue doing that. And then I can also, I will actually present, if I have time, and since I have a couple of case students, I have one app especially that I like for phonics that I can present a little bit later. Does somebody have like a very pressing questions right now? I'm gonna put, okay, I was not in great view, so I couldn't see anybody. Okay. No question. So I'm just gonna share my screen, and then feel free to interrupt me at any time. It's easier for me if you unmute yourself, because I'm still like figuring out everything. So if you just unmute yourself, then I know that you're talking, obviously. And I will just show the first 2 things I'm going to show. It's for everyone. It's basically where the resources are located on our website. Sometimes, you know, we lose track, we get emails and we don't know where things are. So I'm just going to, first things, I'm going to show you where everything is. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here. Okay, and I'm going to present here. Okay. Okay, so the first thing, we have different academic resources. I'm gonna show you first where the summer resources are. So if you are a new parents, you should have received also the list of resources that the pre-K4 teachers recommended for, you know, rising kindergarten. So if you didn't, please leave me a message in the chat box so I know that you didn't get that email. So I'm going to show you how to get there. So to find the reading list and the summer recommendation, you would go to the LFNO website. So hopefully, okay. And just let me know if there is like you don't see my screen very well, okay? So let me move this. Okay, so you'll go to the LFNO website, and then you are going to go to, wait, why don't I see it better? Okay, here you go. You would go to Student Life, and then the first link is uniforms, supplies, and summer assignments. So you would click on there. So that I'm going to do it. Okay, and then you have all the list of summer assignments. So you have the summer work from raising kindergarten, first grade, second grade, etc., etc. For middle school parents, you have like general recommendations for 7th to 10th graders, and then you also have to go back for, you know, like other specific grades, and especially for English when you get in the upper grade levels. So I'm just going to click on one just to show you for if you haven't had a chance to look at them yet, because they, for all the elementary resources, they all organized in a similar manner. So I'm just going to click on one just to show you. So there is just, the first page is just a general presentation, you know, like recommendation and why we encourage students to do something at home, you know, during the summer to avoid the summer slide and the summer loss. And there is like a very minimum time that we recommend for exposure, mostly to French. So for example, for K, we really strongly encourage students to do about 10 minutes of exposure to French language. So then on the second page, you have all of the resources in French. So then depending on the grade level, it's going to be like, mostly it's like websites with some activities that you can do on the websites with a short description of what the website is about. And then, excuse me, the recommended time, or, you know, if it's like a short video, how many videos, you know, the teachers recommend that the kid watch, and then some recommended activities associated with those videos or with those online activities. So this is for K, and then I'm more than happy to come back after into specifics. I'm just doing a general presentations of the document. And then, well, actually, I didn't pick the correct, a good one, because for actually rising kindergarten, we don't really have any recommendation for English. It's mostly French. However, for K, we do have a couple of videos about penmanship and how to have a good pencil grip. So I really strongly encourage parents to watch these videos. For the other grade level, I'm just going to circle back just to show you. For the other, so I'm going to put, for example, second graders. And after the French resources, you will have all of the resources for English. So then you have the ELA summer recommendations after. And then typically they have like reading lists that they recommend for each grade level. Okay. Do you have any questions about those documents and where to find them at this point? No? All good? Okay. So the second things I want to show you is the regular academic resources that we have on the website. So I'm just going to go back to the homepage. So this is our homepage. And we actually, I guess mostly also because of COVID, we put more resources available for parents. So if you are on the front page, you want to click on that first green link right here that says COVID-19 response and resources. So I'm going to click on it. Okay. And then you need to scroll down a little bit. And when you scroll down, you see you have this tab here that says response, general resources, academic resources, technology resources. So, well, today I'm mostly talking about academic resources. So I'm just going to click on this tab right here. So I am in academic resources. Same thing, you need to scroll down a little bit. And then it's at the bottom. Here you have a couple of different resources. So you have multidisciplinary one, STEM, ELA, and the French one at the bottom. I'm just going to click on the French one because, you know, those are the one I'm the most familiar with. So, and I want to show you a few things on there. So if I click on French resources, for the new parents, especially for our returning parents, they probably already know about these documents and those resources. But for the new parents, I want to highlight that first link right here, because this is the link that, so I'm going to click on it and it's going to take you to a Google Doc that actually lists a lot of French resources. So if you don't really like, or if your kid doesn't really like some of the resources that are recommended for the summer, you can find supplemental resources on this website, on this page, on this Google Doc. So I'm just going to show you briefly how it's organized. So it's a big table, and in there you have, each time you have the grade level, so you're going to know right away if it applies to you. So like here, if I see 1 through 9 and I have a rising K student, well, basically I'm not going to be looking at these resources. And then you have what subjects. So some of the websites say it's for all the subjects. Then you have the name of the websites. Most of the time it's the French websites. A short description of what it is. Then you have the link. Then it tells you if you need a login, if you need to create an account, basically. If it's free or not. Most websites are free, but a couple of times I've also included if there is a small fee. And then sometimes there are some comments or on how to navigate the websites, or sometimes you do need, like we have one website that you do need like a special login that I'm giving. So I feel like it's a useful document. Unfortunately for my K parents, it's not as many resources for K, you know, like the most of the resources are really for 1st grade up to 5th grade. And then we also have a lot for middle school. So all you have to do, and it is not, eventually I need to go back and like maybe do a color coding or something, but the resources are mostly organized kind of like by type of resources. So I've tried, for example, to put like all the literature resources together. If it's news, I've tried to put the news together and like all that kind of stuff. So each time it tells you like what, so for example, if I'm looking at this one, it would be for grades 5 to 9. If you're interested in news, you can look at the Arte Junior Le Mag, and then here is a description of what it is, and then you would click on it to find the link. Okay, and then you don't need a login, and it's free. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so I should be back on the PowerPoint. I'm going to put back my grid. Hold on, I have 2 chats. Looks like it. So I have a message from Scott. Okay, so Scott is asking a question about next year, basically. Like, he's a bit concerned that if it's a new student and we have to do a virtual learning, full or part-time, you know, like we won't, you know, there won't be a full immersion experience. I mean, I understand your concern, and then, you know, but like I won't be really addressing this right now. The point of this meeting is really to provide some tools for the parents, like to have more exposure to French over the summer. Then if we need to address any things when school starts again, we'll do that when we come back. Okay, and then Scott, I will give you the name of the director of admission. Her name is Nicole Crystal. I guess I can type it here. Everyone in meeting at lfno.org. Okay, so I have I have the PowerPoint that I have prepared. On this PowerPoint, I have a couple of resources I wanted to go over. However, I mean, this is a very fluid, flexible, it's supposed to be a discussion. So I don't have to cover all of those. I'm more interested if maybe you have specific resources that you're interested, or if you have started to look at some of the resources and activities that the French teachers shared with you. And then maybe some of the websites are harder to navigate than others. If you have any questions, maybe already I can start with those. No?
I have a question. I saw on the list for the middle school level grades that there was a resource that was the Ministry of Education site, and it looked like you have to log in and have to have an account. What would be available on that site?
So I'm not sure which one it is. Is it because the Lumni, the one that you should see on my screen right now, this is a website with the Ministry of Education that was widely used during the distance learning also. This one does not require a login. So
It was in the table that you had up a few minutes ago. It was
it the CNED?
I believe so. It
Okay.
said something about the distance learning program that they were using.
Right. So that's the CNED website. That's the one I put lots of asterisks about because it's actually a very, it's not the easiest website to navigate. Oops, I had two people. Okay, good. Sorry, I'm so proud of myself. I let two people in. So the CNED is difficult to navigate, Darren. I would basically do like, it is, however, a really good website. If you're interested, we could maybe schedule a one-on-one session where I could like kind of like take you through the website. Is that something you would like to explore for the summer?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just maybe just email me to let me know, and then I'll schedule something with you, because this is this is like one of the hardest websites to navigate. For the two parents that joined, could you maybe let me know what grade level is your kid or are your children, or what grade levels they will be next year? You can put it in the chat if you don't want to unmute yourself.
Hi, Miss Sophie. This is Benaya's mother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Okay.
Sorry,
so,
I was late to join.
Okay, I know what grade he's in. So Benaya will enter 10th grade next year, and then I have another parent, I think, who joined. No. Okay, so if you want, I can just like show you a few of the resources. Maybe since I have more K parents, maybe at the end I can keep some time specifically for the K parents, and especially it's new parents, so I can answer maybe some of your questions about like, you know, starting a new language and that kind of thing. So okay, here you go. So and let me know if there are any issues with the visual and everything. So the first one of the, I'm going to just focus on a few resources that can basically be used by most grade levels. So the first website can be actually used by all. It's called lumni.fr. So I'm going to click on it and show you how it works. So that's a little bit what I'm going to do, just to help you understand how you can navigate some of the website, because some of the French website are a little bit harder to navigate. The first thing I want to say before I go into the website is what I strongly recommend if you are not a French speaker is to use Google Chrome. And if you use Google Chrome, you can add Google Translate as an extension. So like I am in Google Chrome right now. So, and then on the right side here of my tab, you can see I have the little Google Translate icon, which means like, if I click on it, it can translate the entire page. Or if you have questions about how to add this extension, I can, we have a link on the website and I can just forward it to you, but that's something I recommend. It kind of like makes it a little bit easier to navigate some of the French websites, at least to give you an idea about what's going on the website. Okay, so we are in Lumni, and the first thing I'm gonna go, you know, so I clicked on the right here on the menu, and I have three options. So primaire is gonna be the elementary level classes, and collège is going to be middle school up to 9th grade, because in French, middle school go up to 9th grade. So basically, those are the two levels I would be interested in. Even for Benaya, I would pick collège rather than lycée yet. So I'm going to click on primaire because that's where most people have their kids in. Okay. Okay, so now I'm on the primaire website. And then again, I clicked on the right side and now I have all of the levels. So what you want to do is like you want to pick the level. I would recommend picking the levels that your kid is currently in. So for example, if you have a rising second grader, I would still pick first grade. So first grade is actually CP. So first grade is CP, CE1 is second grade, CE2 is third grade, CM1 is fourth grade, and CM2 is fifth grade. You don't have to memorize all of it, but you know, it's organized like, you know, the more you go down, the higher you go in the grade levels. Maternelle, it's for the students who are in pre-K and K. It's the same, since it's the same cycle, you can just find resources on here. So just to give an example, I'm going to pick then how the website is organized. I'm going to click on the second grade one. Second grade is CE1. Okay, so I click on it. And then I can't remember. Yes. So again, you click on the right side and then you're going to have the different areas. So Émission Lumni, it's going to be all sort of like really interesting short videos, all in French, obviously. Actualité is the news. Questionner le monde is going to be all that's, it's going to be both basically science and social studies. Français is French. Math is math. And then you have some arts activity, some it's like I never know how to translate this, but like learning how to be a good citizen, how to be responsible, and that kind of thing that's going to be here. Langue vivante, it's mostly going to be English, so I'm not sure you really need that. And éducation aux médias is learning how to navigate internet and how to analyze some news, and they also have some sport activities. So if I click, let's say I'm going to click on French, for example. Okay, and I'm not, you could also go back to the right side and it's going to also tells you exactly which topic of French, but I'm just going to show you a little bit. So for, just going to find, okay, so it's basically a series of short videos. It's basically lessons that are created by teachers. So, and then here you have a little summary of what the lesson is about. So for example, this one is about the letters G, L, P, and Z. When it's, you can't hear them at the end of the word, okay? You have irregular verbs here. So those are like basically lessons, but you also have like, here you have a category that's oral language, and you have like really, really cool videos in French. You have lots of like stories that are available in French. So I'm just want to double check something. I can't remember if they offer the subtitles in this website. Oh, I can't open this one. So sometimes, unfortunately, when it's linked to another website, we can't watch all of them, but it usually works. So this one, of course, I clicked on the wrong one. I mean, not a good example. I'm going to click on this one and see. Okay, for Petit Ours Brun. Okay, nope, I don't have, this one is not available. Of course, I just picked the one that are not really working on the, sometimes depending on the region of the world where you are, they don't all work, but this is my first time actually happening, so I should have checked all of the links first, but anyway, so this is Lumni. This is a very good website if you want to find some videos about the news. If you want to review some academic content, this is really great. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. And then, oops, sorry. and I don't want to talk too much, and please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions or if you have resources that you really want to hear about. So I'm going to continue, and hold on, chat. Okay, so this website, I added this website because what I like about it, it's called La Bibliothèque des Amériques. And what's great about it, I know I have a lot of parents always telling me, like, where do I find French books for my kids, or where do I find free French books? So this is a great one because La Bibliothèque des Amériques is actually a Canadian website. So I'm going to show you how to navigate it a little bit. And it's great because you can borrow digitally a lot of French books. So the first thing you would have to do is you have to create an account. So, you know, usually it's on the top right. So I'm going to, you know, so you would click on Devenir membre, okay? Well, I already have an account, so I'm just going to click on Connect yourself. And then, so I'm connected. This is what I access. So then you want to pick Bibliothèque des Amériques right here. Oh, I'm not, why is it? Okay, that's okay. So then I'm going to go to the catalog of books. Okay. And just to show you, because of course you are like, oh yeah, but it's all of these French books. I don't know how to, you know, how to look at them. What's really interesting is, like, if you go to public here, you're gonna have it's gonna tell you it's for adult. So if you're an adult and you want to read in French, that's great, you can do that too. But they also have a big selection for children, or like younger, I guess teenagers also. So for jeunesse, and then it's organized per age. So 5 years and younger. So if I have a kindergarten students, for example, that's where I would go. 6 to 8, so if I have a first or a second grader, maybe up to third grade, I would go here, etc., etc. So you can pick by age. So I'm going to click the 5 years and younger here. So you see I have 286 books available. And then, you know, and then it's just going to tell you basically if the book is available, it's going to be green, what format it's available. So, I mean, in my experience, for me, it's just easier to use the PDF. Sometime when it's other formats, it's a little bit more tricky for me, but I'm also, you know, if you're a good tech person, it shouldn't be an issue for you. So let me find a good one. So for example, this is l'abécédaire de Théo. So let's say, like, I have no idea what it's saying. So here I'm going to launch my Google Chrome, my Google Translate. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to translate this page. So it's going to take a second, but here it's going to tell me what the book is about. So it's Théo's ABC. Théo's ABC collection helps your children get to know the letters of the alphabet and words. Great. I want to borrow this book. So I'm going to click on borrow here. And I'm going to click on the green. And then you can either download or you can read it online. So just to show you right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to click on read online. It's opening a new window. And, oh, I have a new person. Okay. And, okay. And then here I can read the book like this. So here I would just, you know, click on the page. So you can see there is a little ear at the bottom right. So if you click on it, it's going to read the text. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't recognize some of the text. So the voice sounds a little strange, or it tells you it's actually a picture, you know. So it is good, but it's not. I'm going to show you other websites that have actually better read aloud option than this one. This one is just great because if you want to read a French books, it's free and you have a lot of choices. So let me go back. So this was the website. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint, sorry. If I can. Okay, so I'm going back to the PowerPoint. So this was the website, La Bibliothèque des Amériques. It's a really, I strongly recommend it if you want to access a lot of digital books. And I didn't show it, but they also have a couple of videos and audiobooks. And once again, feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. I'm going to go, so this website, Educarte, is really, really, really great. Unfortunately, it's not so much for our younger students. I put first grade. You have some like first and second grade videos. Most of these websites is going to be more for students in fourth grade and up, really. What's great about this website is that, well, first you have thousands of videos in French. It's very different type of topics. It's about culture, it's about history, it's about the news. It's very, very high quality. And what's great is that you can have the French subtitles for all of those videos. And sometimes about 50% or maybe 30% of those videos do have the option to have the English subtitles. So, you know, for example, if you want to watch a video with your kid and like it's not such a fluent reader, for example, you can have the English subtitles for yourself, and then you can be still watching the videos in French, but you really understand what's going on, and you know, you can perhaps talk about it with your kid or with your kids afterward. So I'm not going to go too much into details here. I want to cover a few more, and then I want to leave time for questions. Okay, so logiciel éducatif. I want to talk a little bit about it because it's basically for all of the grade levels, that's a recommendation for the summers that the French teachers added. And it's not super complicated to navigate, but it's not also the most user-friendly website. So I'm just going to show you a little bit how it is organized. So I'm going to click on the link here. And okay, and I'm just going to show you a little bit how it is organized. So here you're going to have to pick this times your level on the top. It's the same as in the Lumini website that we watched earlier. You have a category for maternelle. So maternelle is for our pre-K and K students. And then you're going to have the grade level organized from left to right. So CP is first grade, CE1 is second grade, CE2 is third, CM1 is fourth, and CM2 is fifth grade. Collège is going to be our middle school students, so sixth grade up to ninth grade. So you would pick your level. So I guess I'm going to pick fifth grade because I haven't really talked about fifth grade yet. So I'm going to pick fifth grade. And I know we have a parent of a sixth grader. I would recommend choosing the fifth grade activities actually, which is actually what the fifth grade teacher put on the summer recommendations. So so I am in the fifth grade box. So here, if you don't remember, it says again, like, you know, you can check. It says activité pour le CM2, so activities for fifth grade. And then on the left here, or actually you have the same here, you basically have the links twice. You have the topics. So you have the different topics of math. So calcul, numération, géométrie, problème, grandeur et mesure. Oops, sorry. And then if I scroll down, I'm going to have French, lecture, son. So son is phonics. Lecture, compréhension. Those are going to be more like reading text. Conjugaison and grammaire. Again, son, phonics. Orthographe and vocabulaire. And then you have some more, you know, the other activities are going to be more like game type activities. So I strongly recommend using this website for French and for math. So I'm just going to pick a French activity. So I'm going to pick lecture. Okay, so this is phonics. Okay, So I am in the category of phonics. And some of those activities are actually the same for, the different grade levels. Reconnaissance de lettres, this might be actually a little bit easy for fifth graders, but if you scroll down, you're gonna have like different games. So for example, this one here, you have to choose between un and une. So I'm just gonna show you how it works. It's just a game. So I click on it. Usually it's pretty self-explanatory. They also, as you can see at the bottom, they have like different, those are like the different vocabularies that it covers. So I'm going to click
Clique
OK.
sur le bouton 1 ou le bouton 1 pour entendre ce que cela donne.
Donc, oops. Kangourou, I have to click on un ou une, okay?
Un kangourou.
Okay.
Si tu es d'accord avec ce que tu as entendu, clique sur le bouton OK.
So you don't have to understand exactly everything. I think the kids usually figure out pretty quickly, like in class, I know how it works. So it's okay if you don't understand everything. What's great is like you really have a good, the pronunciation is excellent. It's everything recorded. What I would encourage you to do, like if your kid is working on a website like that, is really to repeat. Even though here they're not supposed to repeat, but like say it out loud after the characters say it, because it's a really good pronunciation exercise. Okay, so this is Logiciel Éducatif. It's a really good website. You have lots of activities, and then the kids are usually pretty comfortable navigating it. Gonna go back to the PowerPoint. Oops. Just a quick word on this website. It's actually a YouTube channel. It's a great YouTube channel if your kid is, and it's most grade level really at this point, but if your kid is interested in science or in STEM, those videos, like each video is about a specific theme in science, and they have like hundreds of videos at this point, and they are really funny, and it's a really good website. I mean, a really good YouTube channel if your kid is interested in STEM. I'm going to continue quickly, and please interrupt me because I don't want to do a lecture. I really want it to be interactive, and I want it to be useful. So if you have any question on specific resources, I really want to make sure I have time to answer those. And I also this PowerPoint, I'm going to share it so you can also like just have access to it directly and click on the resources. The audio stories here, like there are lots of websites with audio stories. I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult for like for non-French native speakers, because you only have the audio and you don't have the image. However, I think for our older students, it's also very good just to practice on the audio and not to have any image in front of you. Let's see, I have something in the chat. Yes, yes, I will share the resources, and then is it Mary Vanessa or Mary? How do you? I don't remember how you want me to. Miss Clancy, do I say the two first names? You can unmute yourself if you want, or not if you're not comfortable. Okay, Vanessa, okay, sorry. Vanessa, yes, I can, at the end, if you want, I showed where everything was on the website. I can go back to that at the end of the presentation. And I will also make this PowerPoint available.
All right, thank you, thank you.
So, okay, so this, I just want to say also a few words on this one. Unfortunately, this is not really for our lower elementary students. This website, BrainPop, is for upper elementary students and middle school, almost high school students. It might be like the cartoons for like our ninth graders, rising 10th graders, they might think it's a little babyish, but the level for language is excellent though. So this website is really great. I'm just going to show you quickly how it's organized, because you have both the videos. If I remember correctly, you do have the subtitles available. And on top of that, you have quizzes where you can kind of like practice for comprehension on that. So I'm going to click on it. And you do need a login. However, the information for login is in the website, in the list of all the websites I presented at the beginning. So on this, in this website, it's not organized per grade level, it's just organized per topic. Okay, so I'm gonna click on geography, for example, here. Okay, and well, this one I have. So here you can see I have a video that's 4 minutes. So that's the film. I can watch it. If I click on ST, those are the subtitles. So if I launch the video, sorry, can we hear? Yeah. Oh, let me click on it. Oh, it was here. So you do have the subtitles as the video is playing. Sorry, I'm stopping it. But this is great because you have the subtitles available. If you click here, it's going to make the window bigger. And then when you're done, so I always recommend watching a video in French at least twice, because the first time is just like catch you too much by surprise. So it's the comprehension is you really want to watch it at least 2 times to make sure that you get most of what they're saying. And then you can pick on the quiz. Oops. And then you can, revision is practice, and classic is just the regular quiz. But if I click on review here, you're gonna have different questions and that are based on the video, and then you can click on the answer, and you're gonna have like a little, you know, you're gonna know like how many you got correct or not. So I think this is great because you can watch the video, but you kind of get like almost immediate feedback on how well you understood the video, because you can do that quiz right after. So that's why I think it's a really good website. Okay, so I'm back on the document. It is, ooh, it's 4:48 already. So let me make sure. I had a few news for our upper students. I strongly recommend like looking at some of the websites where they can just read the news in French. In some of those websites, sorry, it's a video. On some of those, they have to read the article, but it's just a really good way to keep up with their French during the summer. Okay, and then quickly, and then I can answer some questions. Okay, for our, so the website here, which is more for, those are like for elementary students, so really from 1st grade to 5th grade. This website, Il était une histoire, I kind of like actually discovered it recently. It is great. I'm going to show you why. So it's a website with books, okay? But for each books, so when you get on the website right here, you have several options. You have album and histoire, album or picture books, fable and poésie, fables and poems, documentaries, contes and légendes, so fairy tales and legends, and then songs, okay? So I'm just gonna pick on one category. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. And then you're gonna have all of the books, okay, that are available. It's not that many. However, what's great is when I click on the book, you have several options. So that means based on your reading level, you can either read the story by yourself. So then you would have only the picture, and then you scroll down and you do have the picture. Okay, so I mean, you have the text, sorry, I'm sorry. So you have to click here, lire l'histoire. However, if I'm still, if I'm still a 1st grader, or if I'm a rising 1st grader, for example, I can have the options to just listen to the story. That would be écouter.
Cocorico de Bruno Hetz.
So this is an audio story. So then you will just have, you can listen to the entire story. And then finally, which I think is a really great option, the third option is reading with support.
Cocorico de Bruno Hetz.
So this is great because as you flip the page, it's going to highlight the text as the voice is reading it.
Impossible de fermer l'œil.
Okay, oops, sorry. So I just wanted to show you because these websites are really 3 levels of reading, and this is a really good exercise. Also, what's great is like you can play, you can click jouer, and it's also going to ask comprehension question about what was just read. So you really get, like, by picking one story on this website, you really get the full thing. Like you work on the auditory comprehension, and then you can your kid gets a chance to practice a little bit and respond comprehension questions. I have a question in the chat. Okay, yes, Scott, I'm going to address that question next. So I'm not going to talk about the TV5 Monde. I think this is actually, Scott, my next slide. Okay, right here. So that was a good timing. So for phonics, the question Scott was asking, you know, what would I recommend for phonics for rising kindergarten? So I actually just found out this website. So the first thing I want to say, Scott, the first thing I would do, and then if I go back, hold on, let me go back to the, if you go back to the resources, so, and actually I'm gonna, Vanessa, that way I can do 2 things. Vanessa, this was at the beginning, I re-explained where you can find the resources for the summer reading. So you would go to the website, to the LFNO website, and then you go to Student Life, and then you click on Uniform Supplies and Summer Assignments, in case you don't remember what the summer reading lists are. So Scott, I'm gonna click on Rising Kindergartners, because you already have some of the resources that the teacher gave here. So this is not about phonics. Did they not put anything about phonics? So actually for phonics, we would have to look into, I can't remember, I'm sorry, I would have to look into it. Bua Equala is a great website for pre-K and K. I would strongly recommend that. I can't remember if they have any phonics activities on this one because I haven't personally used in a while. So I would have to check that, and I can get back to you. In Logiciel Éducatif that I presented earlier, you have some great phonics activity for Rising K. So once again, so I clicked on it, you would go to Maternelle. And the first thing I would do before even jumping into phonics, I would definitely work on the French alphabet, because as you know, the sound of the letters is different. So I would definitely do some of the some activities here about the alphabet. Those are great. They have like very different level of difficulties. Again, if you have any difficulties, like if you find that you have difficulties navigating it, I'm happy to do a little Turing session about it. So I'm going to click on this. This one is about syllables, which would be the next step we would do. So l'auto des syllabes d'attaque. So that's where it's a little tricky, because that's why it might be useful for you to use the Google Translate, because of course I understand what it's saying, but for parents it might be a little bit difficult. Syllabe d'attaque, it's the first syllable of the word. So then you would click on the arrow to start the game.
Ville.
Okay, so I didn't understand actually. I didn't hear what he said. So you just press on the microphone for the character to repeat.
Ville.
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 So then.
Arbre. Crocodile. Crabe. Ville. Ville.
I think he's saying, I don't understand, because I think he's saying ville, and it's asking me to find which one as the, maybe it's the ending, it's crocodile.
crocodile,
Okay, it was the ending syllable. I'm sorry, I misread it. So what's great on this website, and I'm going to show you an app that also I really like, because you can repeat, you can click on the microphone as often, as many times as you want to repeat the word. And here, for example, I think it's great because you don't need to know the vocabulary word. You can just click on it. And at this point, it's just like auditory discrimination, and you're really working on the sounds that you can hear. The app I recommend for rising kindergartners, I won't be able to show it to you how it works, but it's this app. So it's available, like for example, like I have one of my son is in pre-K4, so he's a rising kindergarten, and I have it on my phone. But it's a little bit easier. It's French, so, but I have it on my phone, and like I strongly recommend downloading this app. It's called 1000 mots GS. You have the, it's free. You can download it for free. However, if you want to download the full version, I think it's $1.99. So it's not free. However, I think it's probably like, it's a really good $1.99 that you can spend on an app. It's a very good app. It's exactly what I just showed you with when we went on the website with what was it, the ville, and then I had to click on crocodile. It's exactly how it's going to be. You're going to have like an image, and then you can click on the little microphone. It's going to tell you the word, and then you have to identify like either if you hear the syllable or not, or how many syllables you have to are there in the word. So if I say crocodile, you're going to have 3 little boxes, and the kids have to check all 3 boxes, for example, or, you know. So this is definitely like an excellent app that I would recommend for rising kindergartners. It will also help build up some vocabulary, you know, for next year. And I think that's all I had. That's the, I can also, Scott, if I think of other websites or app, I can get back to you. Do I have any other specific questions? And maybe I missed some of the question in the chat because I was focusing on not leaving anybody out of the OC. I forgot somebody in the waiting room. I almost did it. I'm sorry, Sarah. So do any of you has any questions you would like me to answer? Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Darren. Darren shared a resource that the kids like. French flashcards for kids by eFlash Apps. It's in the chat box. And you can pay $2 to have a version with no ads. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Darren. And also, I mean, you might be already using like some apps that, you know, I haven't presented. I'm happy to get back with you. So Darren, I guess we would schedule a meeting to go over the CNED website. And then Scott, if you want me to provide other, you have also other websites that are on Phonics. What I find with the good Phonics website, they are French, you know, so sometimes it's just a little tricky to navigate them. But like the app I recommended, I find it very, very user-friendly, even for a non-French speaker.
Sophie, I had a question about testing.
Yes.
Such as the brevet, the BAC, as well as future DELF tests.
Mm-hmm.
If a student were to not be at lycée in the future and went to a different school but kept up their language,
right?
Would they be allowed to take those tests and possibly take them at lycée once lycée becomes a testing facility?
So for Delft, I don't think so, because there are other, like for example, there are other centers in the city. Like for example, Alliance Française is a testing center in the city. So I don't think you could take it with us because there are other centers. However, for brevet, I'm almost 100% positive that this would happen. So let's say next year we become an exam center for brevet, and then we have students, actually not necessarily like previous lycée students, but we have like students who left the program and still prepare the brevet on their own, and they want to take the brevet. They would be able to register as it's called individual candidate, and they can take it. They would be able to take it at lycée. But first we have to go through the process of becoming an exam center, which can only happen once the accreditation is validated.
And do those tests have any pre-qualifications, like other than the student being prepared for the test?
So for Delft, no. For brevet, I don't think so. I don't think so. And what other exam did you mention? For the
I was thinking of the Delft, the brevet, and the BAC in general.
Yes, it would be the same. It would be there are no requirements. I don't even think, even for BAC, I don't even think there is a minimum age, because you do all regularly. We have like not here, but like in general, they have like very young students that take the BAC. So yes, there are no, to my knowledge, there are no requirements. The only requirements for Delft is the version of the Delft that you take. If you take the, like our 5th grade students currently takes the Delft Prime A2. And to take the Prime version, you have to be an elementary school student. If you still want to take, like, if you didn't take it in 5th grade, for example, and you want to take it in 6th grade, you will have to take, it's still the A2, for example, but it's a different version. It's the junior. It's just because it's more like the presentation is made for elementary students, and then the junior is made for like students who are a little bit older, and then if you're an adult, you would take the adult version.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious I didn't know if they had to be attending an accredited school or something like that for any of these tests. So
they do not, no.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for attending. If you want to come back another time or you have questions, or next time if you want to send me your questions ahead of time so I can make sure that I can address them as precisely as possible. I'm going to type in my email in the chat box in case you had any questions that you couldn't ask, or if you have questions later on and you want to email me. So my email is scapmartin@lfno.org. So Darren, I'll be waiting for your email. And then if other parents want to email me with specific questions, I'd be happy to, to provide some answers. Good.
Thank you, Sophie. Quick question.
Yes.
About the brevet, I know the scores and you had emailed it to us, but it's in French.
Oh, yes.
Are you going to have a chance to go over, or should we just individually contact you? And
do you mean,
you
mean you don't know which topics is what? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I will. I can email you with like the translation of the topics. And then
okay,
I had another question today actually about it. We will also receive the diploma, because what I sent was just the grades. We will have the diploma, and then we will have something, next year when we come back with like, you know, like a diploma ceremony, because they will have like their real diploma, you know, showing that they passed.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, thank you everyone for participating, and I hope I, you know, provided some good resources for you. And oh, I have somebody raised their hand. I don't see. I'm still like struggling a little bit with. Wait, I'm trying. I know. I see. I have a hand that's raised. Hold on. Do you? No. Is it an accident? Are you trying to raise your hand? I don't see your name. No, maybe it's an accident.
Sophie, it looks like Jessica had a question about La Leo website.
No, okay. I don't see. Did I miss this?
She was the one that was on in the beginning who had a rising second grader, and she's having trouble accessing that website, and she was curious
is she
about
still,
parent
is she
code.
still on here? Jessica, are you still on here?
I think she got off according to her message.
Got off.
She was
Okay.
going to look at the
Okay.
video.
I will. Thank you, Darren. I will reach out to her. Lalilo is not super easy to navigate, so I would have to take her through it. Yes, I presented it last week actually. Okay. Do I see her name? Oh, Jessica Carpenter. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you for attending. And then I think, you know, you can always join a later session and or send me some questions. Okay. Have a good end of your day. I'm gonna disconnect the meet.